Hey, how y'all doing? This is Hunt 919 Truth to Sports. You're probably wondering why I started this with hand claps. Like I said, this is Hunt 919 Truth to Sports, coming to you with another segment. And the hand claps is for Coach Prime and the Colorado Bus for what they've done this year, even with two games remaining. This segment I was wrong about Colorado this season, but I want to go into why I gave the prediction that I did, and obviously it was wrong, and I want to get into that. I made segments about their season preseason, and if you're man enough to create segments preseason, then you need to be able to, to back it up. And when it's not backing up the way you thought it would be, you need to give credit to, to a well-deserved coach and to a well-deserved team. So let me go ahead and get right into it. Now, I had them going 5-7 at worst, 6-6 at best, and making a bowl game. I did not have them winning in the month of November. Okay. Now they are 8-2, and they've won two games in the month of November. They beat Texas Tech 41-27. Then they beat Utah 49-24, and they beat both of those teams in dominating fashion. Obviously averaging 40 points and up on both of those teams. They left no doubt who's going to win the game once they got going. They are now tied for first place in the conference with the conference championship in sight, as well as the college playoffs in sight, and they literally control their own destiny. If they win out, they win the conference championship, and if they win out, they go to the college playoffs, which will be outstanding. Now, why did I pick them the way that I did? Well, I thought that they would have trouble winning because there were like four preseason ranked teams in the Big 12. I mean, at that time, Colorado was ranked in the 50s at that time, if I'm not mistaken. Utah was ranked between 12 to 15, Kansas State 18, around 18, Oklahoma State around 23, Arizona around 21. Now, in this day and time, Colorado is one of four Big 12 teams that are ranked. BYU is ranked 6, but now they're 14. Colorado was 17, now they're 16. Kansas State, who just lost to Arizona State, they were 16, now they're not ranked. Arizona State, who just beat Kansas State, they're ranked 21, and then Iowa State is ranked 22. So because of and then another reason I picked Colorado the way I did is because of the talent that was going to be in the Big 12. Utah had a 7-year start and a pro prospect in Cameron Rising, but he got hurt last year, so he came back this year and he came back with the same injury. And I saw him play two games and he just looked terrible. He couldn't throw. His knee is just messed up. Um, and then Kansas State has a top QB, they got the top quarterback or their top recruit that they've ever had at their school, and Avery Johnson. Then they also have an NFL caliber running back in DJ Giddens. Giddens is over 1,000 yards with two games remaining already. Then you had Oklahoma State. They had another top running back in Ollie Gordon. He's also an NFL prospect. He was actually picked to go for the Heisman and to possibly go for 2,000 yards this year as far as preseason predictions are concerned. But he's been fighting injuries. I watched him play two games, and he was in and out the whole time. I mean, he every time he hit the ground, he came up limping. Then you had Arizona, who has of course Noah. Then you have McMillan, I think is his name, the receiver, the 6'5" receiver, and that receiver's over 1,000 yards receiving with two games to go. And of course, he put it to Colorado last year. Now, UCF was supposed to have a devastating running game from when I was reading. They have a top running back, R.J. Harvey, who's actually leading the Big 12 in rushing right now with over 1,300 yards. Then you have the quarterback, K.J. Jefferson. He's not a great passer. He's only 1,000 yards passing, but he's supposed to be add to that running game and to that rushing offense. And of course, Colorado goes down there and just whoops them on national television in their place. Now, offensively for Colorado, I thought a reason why I picked the way I picked as far as their preseason, giving them 5-7 and 6-6. I thought that replacing the offensive line would slow their progression down. This time last year, they had given up 46 sacks, but this year they've only given up 32 sacks, and some of those sacks have been the quarterback's fault. So if you go back through the season in each game, it'll probably be less than 32 sacks that was at their actual fault. So I thought that that would hamper them because you're getting all a whole new offensive line. I'm not thinking that they're going to be ready for the Big 12 in 1 year with a new line. The running game was about the same as far as it was last year. They actually running a little more than they normally do, which helped. But of course, I was looking at it like they wouldn't use the running backs that well. And of course, in the Big 12, in most good conferences, you need to run the ball. But Colorado is kind of beating that stigma right now. I knew that Colorado's receiving core wouldn't be an issue, but they actually went up a level from what they was last year. They got Travis Hunter, of course, they got Jimmy Horn, and Omari and Miller. They were all good last year, but now they added Will Shepard, who's great at 50-50 balls, LaJohntay Wester, who just returned a punt for a touchdown, and we know how gritty he is as a receiver. He also caught the winning pass against Baylor to keep their season going as far as, not losing that game that particular week. Then you have a four-star freshman named Draylon Miller, who just scored a touchdown and just led this past game with 108 receiving yards as a four-star first-year freshman. So not only did they have a good receiving core, they took a step up with their receivers. Now Shador second in passing the conference, he was no surprise. Travis is fourth in receiving, in yards in receiving yards in the conference. That's no surprise. They ranked 10th. They ranked top 10 nationally in passing, top 10 in receiving. All those things I knew. Now I was not expecting the defense to be the top 10 in sacks. I think they're also leading the conference as far as a group in sacks. Um, so I didn't expect that. Defensively, I did not see and did not understand players like DJ Green, who leads the team in tackles, as good as playing as good as he is. Cameron Craig, who's second on the team in stats. I mean, as far as tackles, one of the most consistent players on that team from Jackson State. He took a step up. Nakia Green, one of my favorite players, number 41. I did not, see how good he was going to be. Levante Bentley, the linebacker, very good. Preston Hodge, who's now one of their pro prospects too, that could get drafted this upcoming year. Then you have Stoudemire, who's gotten better from last year. I mean, they almost redshirted him last year, and look how he's playing this year. B.J. Green, did not know about a B.J. Green. So I was completely wrong about some of those guys and some of the players that they were getting, and I underestimated them, not because I didn't think they would be good players. I think you need camaraderie when you play on especially on a big level like that. But they kind of defied all that. Coach Prime had, between 40 to 80 players to come in the last couple of years. He found some guy, and they're saying he still don't have everybody he likes as far as depth is concerned. And look what they're doing already. So I was not giving them a preseason prediction of 5-7 because I was hating. I actually did research. When I say research, I actually go to the library, take time out of my day, and I actually research these teams and what they had coming in. And I saw what Colorado had coming in, but Colorado was kind of hard to decipher because they get players coming in all the time. So that was the reason I gave them what I gave them. So it was actually a legit football reasons why I predicted the way I predicted. I don't look at the professionals I don't look at the professionals to after I've done what I'm gonna do because I don't want anybody to sway what I'm thinking. So I didn't pick, obviously I wasn't off because some of the professionals picked Colorado to finish 11th in the conference. Some of them picked the same record I picked, 5-7. And most of them did not have Colorado going to a bowl, especially finish 11th in the conference. But I told you what I had them picked. Man enough to say I was not just off, way off. I did not see them at 8-2 under no conditions, under no situations, and especially this quick in the second year that he's had the team, and I did not see them ranked, a 16th as they are now. So all I can say is congratulations, give them a hand clap, and just to say I was wrong about it. But so you're not going to always be right, but you can take accountability when you're wrong, and I'm taking accountability. It's been Hunt 919 Truth to Sports. Ride with me.